Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video on this slightly foggy but sun peering through the clouds Saturday morning, and what I'm hoping is going to be a very lovely sunny weekend in time for the Great North Run, and hopefully going to be sat in the beer garden most of this afternoon. So I thought I'd get up early and do this video with, you know, what is good news. I think BRUNO GUIMARÄes has had, you know, an eventful start to the season, and probably not in the best of terms, to be honest. Some spats over on Twitter and maybe not the greatest start on the pitch, but I feel like in the last 48 hours things have started to turn it around a little bit, and for the better, I hope. So we'll talk about this in today's video, but first, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, be sure to do so. Hit that big red button or black button or white button, it changes every other day. Give it a click. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and if you would like to support the channel that little bit further, go and check out my Patreon. I've been doing a few videos down here on the quayside this morning, so yeah, if you want to see a little bit more Newcastle or even just Rubenstein content, be sure to go and check it out. There's actually it's a Great North Run tomorrow, isn't it? There's loads going on here down on the quayside. People running past, flying past. There's I think either a practice run or maybe the kids run over on the other side of the water as well. And what a weekend for us. Having said that, if you are doing the Great North Run tomorrow, you were probably hoping it might rain, because it's going to be very, very warm, I think. Let me know down below if you are doing the Great North Run. Yeah, I've never done it. Maybe one day. I applied for it a few years ago, didn't get in, and then I've never tried again. But, yeah, lovely and sunny. And as I say, a good start to the weekend for BRUNO GUIMARÄes, as he actually played for Brazil last night. Slightly different position to what he plays for Newcastle, and he flourished, to be honest. Looked really, really good. A lot of people are talking about, you know, BRUNO, and obviously it hasn't. I'm not just going to talk, well, it is a BRUNO video, but talk about Tonali, talk about Joe Linton, you talk about, you know, a few players on that side, and generally speaking, this hasn't been a great start of the season, has it? You know, if we'd beat Villa 5-1 and then we didn't concede those 2 goals against Núñez against Liverpool, we had a bit more of a fight against Brighton. You know, maybe you do look at it and go, that was a really tough start. And it's interesting, you know, because people say it doesn't matter what order you play these games in. You're always going to have to play Man City. You're always going to have to play against Liverpool. You're always going to have to play against Brighton away. Yes, you are always going to have to play tough games. And people say that it doesn't matter what order you do those games in, but it really does, to be honest, or at least for me, it does. When you play 3 tough games back to back, and we're going to see it a little bit more in the upcoming 6 fixtures. Brentford at home. Right, Brentford? Yeah, Brentford at home. Let's try and get back on track. Then we're away at the San Siro. You know, let's try and get something there as well. Then you come back and it's, you know, Sheffield United away. Right, relegation contender. Let's get back up and running again. Then it's Man City at home on the Tuesday. And to try and have that kind of run of form and I guess confidence in the side is tough when you start playing these kind of games. One there, a hopeful game where you hope to win, and then a tough one. And you look at kind of middle of last season where we kind of just went pow. You know, we started the season, well, it was draws, wasn't it? Draws at the start of last season. We're actually only 1 point worse off than we were at this time last season, which sounds mad, but it's true. And it's so the reaction of, oh my God, it's all gone wrong. Fair enough, we haven't been great, but maybe it is, you know, slightly too early. The trouble is, however, as I've mentioned, to now go, right, let's get the win against Brentford. If we get the win against Brentford, then when we do go to the San Siro and do win, wow, you know, all of a sudden that confidence, that boost will shine throughout the side. But yeah, sticking with BRUNO for now. We saw him playing a slightly different role for Brazil last night. And yes, Brazil had a pretty much a riot, to be honest. It was 5-1 in the end, but BRUNO looked good, and he actually got replaced by Joe Linton on around the 70th minute mark as well. And I think it's good for, you know, we talk about the international break and a chance for Eddie Howe to get players in, talk to players. This is what you've got to do here, this is what you've got to do there. Try and sort out kind of what's gone on so far, and this idea that, you know, BRUNO can't play with Tonali, and should we bring Sean Longstaff back because he might be a slightly more fitting player? Well, I mean, this is a question for you. Does Eddie Howe just sack it all off? You know what it is. Get Joe Linton back on the left wing. Get Longstaff back in the side. I think we're calling out for a Willock as well, by the way. Is there a part of Eddie Howe that's going, you know what, let's just go. Let's just get it back. Does Joey get on that left wing? You know what, it's funny as well, because I think Joe Linton... we're trying to play Joe Linton in a position at the moment where he's like trying to play tick-a-tacker with Bruno and Tonali. I don't really want Joe Linton to be doing that, to be honest. I either want Joe Linton smashing people on the edge of our box or sprinting to get in to the box, you know? He's not the man who should be a part of that creative play in the middle, in the centre circle. He's the man who should be bombing on and trying to get in the box, or, as I say, working hard to get the ball forward, or working hard to get the ball when it's back. Could Eddie Howe just go, you know what? It's actually not working, let's change it. I don't think so. I think Eddie Howe probably had his mind map of where he wanted this team to be. And as I've said already, you know, it has been a tough start to the season. We have had back-to-back tough games. I'd rather have played Man City now, Liverpool later, Brighton away later again, and actually try and have a bit of a nicer run. And that's what we're coming into now. The trouble is, with this nicer Premier League run, it's also broken up with lots of tough Champions League games, which could be the absolute making of us this season if we go and smash some of these matches out. But if we beat Brentford and then it's Man City, and then it could be a little bit tougher. But Bruno, it was great to see him flying for Brazil, which is really great. And then on top of that, in the same 24 hours, Fabrizio Romano reporting that Bruno is getting ever closer to signing that new deal. Now, it's been spoken a little bit about the fact that Bruno's pretty much been linked to signing a new deal for some time now. It's understood why, especially when additional reports are coming out that Newcastle have actually turned down £100 million bid from Liverpool in the summer with a resounded no. You are not taking Bruno away from us. And you talk about 200 million bids for Salah, 215 bids for Salah, that Liverpool are turning down, which is mad. And maybe if it was for Bruno, I might say the same, you know. I think for Liverpool's owners, I think they would probably get crucified if they did let Salah go this late in the summer, this close to the start of the season, where they want to try and get Champions League back. You can understand why they've turned it down. And I think it's similar to Bruno. You know, £100 million for a player. You could even go into a player that's only been in the Prem for a year or so. But how good's he been? And there's no way we would turn it down. You know, this is what's great about having a new ownership, a new era. No more Mike Ashley. You know, Mike Ashley would have accepted 50 million, you know, for a nice little £10 profit, if I believe. Whereas we don't have to do that. Instead, we are doubling down on Bruno and going, let's get this guy a longer, higher paid contract, reward him for the work he's done, and then also make sure that if any other teams do come in, we are covering our backs. Because with Liverpool, big no-no. We're not going to help another side lose our star player. A couple of years' time, South American lad, links to Real Madrid. I don't think it was the right time for him now. I think he's just literally helped us get Champions League, but it's got to, as fans, it's something that we've got to be aware of. And again, that's another thing we've got to learn, because we've kind of gone through this thing where we are kind of a team who are now bringing in some high quality star players. And because of that, teams are always going to be interested. But for the right here and now, it's very promising. To understand that our owners took no nonsense approach to a £100 million bid for Bruno is incredible. To know that we are pushing to try and get a new deal done, reward the player, give him that confirmed long-term future at the club, and at the same time, in the international break, where Bruno's had a chance to go away, not train with Eddie Howe on the training pitch, which is what I would have liked, but to go away, breath of fresh air, with the Brazilian squad and play some good football, I think is only good for us. So let me know your thoughts down below on Bruno's new contract, on the news that Newcastle turned down £100 million for him. It is getting busier and busier as I make my way down the quayside here as I approach all of the runners from the fun run over there. So that is where I'm going to end this. But thank you for watching, guys. As always, drop a like, subscribe if you're new, check out Patreon for more videos just like this one, and I'll catch you later.